experience of the people around me that things really weren't okay and that there was a lot of injustice out there. And I expected other people to do something about it.
5 years ago, this university graduate was sleeping on the streets.
Cut the cake, Hillary.
Today, she's helping launch a book about the homeless student support program that was sparked by her plight.
I expected the politicians to do something about it. I expected community leaders to do something about it. And what we've demonstrated here is that it's us that are doing it.
Actually, the politicians did do something about it. Almost a year ago, the Victorian government rejected community warnings and shut down Ardoch Windsor Secondary College, the school that gave Eloise and so many people like her a chance that simply wasn't available elsewhere.
They are going to school and they are learning. And I'm talking kids that are sleeping on park benches. They don't have to sleep on park benches anymore, thanks to Kathy and Mike and people in this school. Yeah.
The government was warned time and again that Ardoch's nationally acclaimed programs had been nurtured for years and couldn't be readily transplanted. Nevertheless, 100 Ardoch students were moved to Paran Secondary College. Today, only 35 are left. A lot of the rest are back on the streets or in dingy rooms in cheap hotels. For many of those who stayed, it was a traumatic transition. Kerry became pregnant with Talia last year while she was an Ardoch student.
How's Talia? Good. That's good. What's she up to today?
It's harder here than it was at Ardoch. The kids at Ardoch who came here sort of knew that I was pregnant, that I was having a kid, whereas the kids here didn't know me, and I just rocked up with a kid and they sort of spun out a bit.
While Kerry's struggling to school, Marcus, another former Ardoch student, has dropped out. We'll come back to Marcus when he's up.
Anyone else for Fridays?
Ardoch's breakfast program, its housing program and its counselling service have been transplanted with financial support from the government. And while most of the Ardoch students were unable to make the change, the value of the programs has been established beyond doubt.
They definitely made a mistake in closing Ardoch, yet the program itself is flourishing. And that might seem a bit odd, an odd statement to make, but the fact is that the program is booming. We're supporting at the moment over 120 students and their families here as well, so there's obviously a need for the program.
Gotta go to class, Julie. Have a lovely day.
There's still the love and the care, but the family spirit of Ardoch is somehow diminished. Last year, Faye was one of Ardoch's most dedicated supporters.
How many schools do you have looking after children, seeing that they're safe at home or any environment, just caring for them?
Faye's come back to Paran after dropping out for 4 months.
So I started at Paran and it just didn't have the same feel, and teachers were totally opposite to what compared to teachers at Ardoch, and the rules were totally different, and so I left and there wasn't anything out there, and I thought, well, no, I'd rather stay with the people at Ardoch. And so I did and came back here and sort of been settling in, but I still prefer Ardoch.
The former Ardoch students, and their teachers for that matter, faced a different culture at Paran. It's simply a more conventional school.
Don't forget those work requirements, please. Time is running out.
For Marcus, lack of time is not a problem. Today, he's playing with his friend Brian, another former Ardoch student who's dropped out of Paran.
Nice ball.
What do you do during the day now that you're not at school?
See Brian a fair bit, play pool, go see friends. As Brian said, we went to a funeral yesterday of someone that we both knew, which was pretty sad, but it's an alright funeral. They played Megadeth and heavy metal music for the funeral, so. But otherwise we just go down to school, keep in contact with people we know, see Mike a fair bit, Kathy if she's there most of the time, but normally just hang around and play pool.
They all sort of went their own ways. Not many people could handle the scene at Paran, so they sort of just left, which is really unfortunate because now they're just nowhere. They sort of, no jobs, no school, just doing nothing, just on unemployment benefits. So that's why I didn't sort of want to end up like that, so I came back.
Paran's principal has battled to make his school a new second home for his new students.
There is no doubt that any dislocation of students and staff does have a dramatic effect upon the students concerned. There are students who are unable to make that jump.
So does that mean that by definition all these closures and mergers will lead to a higher dropout rate?
I believe that at senior secondary level that is definitely the case.
Because really there are thousands of people, literally.
Meanwhile, those that stayed are facing exams, and last week 3 of the 4 academic achievement prizes awarded by the school went to former Ardoch students.
And it's every individual that can really make a difference in this world. So I really want to acknowledge everyone in this room for what they've done and what they're doing for the world. So thank you.
Mahu Short reporting. And proceeds from the sale of that book, Youth Homelessness, Courage and Hope, will go to the Ardoch Youth Foundation. And we